everyone, it's Andrea. Welcome to a second dose of Talks in the Car. Today, as I was going through the day, this has really pressed upon my spirit, and I wanted to share again a second dose of Talks in the Car. The question that I have for you is, how are you leaving the people that are around you? How are you leaving the people that you manage? How are you leaving the people that you go to church with, the people that you work with, the people that you go to school with, the people that are in your inner circle? How are you leaving them? Are you leaving people encouraged? Are you leaving people feeling worthwhile, feeling special? Or are you leaving people hurt and broken? How we treat people matters. How we leave people matters. How we speak to people matters. Even in times of wrong, even in times of error, how we speak to people, how we treat them matters. What we say matters. If we are in places of management, how we treat people, how we manage, how we lead matters. Think about how God led his disciples, led the people, even in times when they made mistakes, even in times when they disagreed with his method. He still encouraged. He took moments to educate. He encouraged his people. He spoke with kind words. He spoke with grace. Nobody left the presence of Jesus broken. Nobody left the presence of Jesus hurt. No one left the presence of Jesus bleeding out. Why? Because even in moments of error and mistakes, he still bestowed grace. He still showed love. He still showed mercy. He took moments of mistakes and error and used them as teaching moments. And so I ask you, how are you leaving people? When people leave your presence, are they uplifted or are they hurting? How are we speaking to people? How are we correcting people? You know, Maya Angelou said something that is so profound. People will remember how you made them feel. How are you making people feel? How are you leaving them? How are they when they leave you? Can they walk upright, or are they hunched over? Are they in tears? Are you sending people away from you less than how they walked in? We have to be so careful of how we treat people, even in times of mistakes, in times of error, in times of disagreements. We have to be so careful of how we treat people, because those treatments, good and bad, have a long-lasting impression upon us. Think about the person and the people who have hurt you, whether it's been your family, whether it has been in church, whether it has been on the job. We remember those details. Those things add to our makeup. They add to how we react, how we move forward in life. And then on the flip side, think about the people who loved on you, the people who cared about you. Even if you made a mistake or you made an error, how they treated that, what they said, were they encouraging? Did they help you in order to make those right? Those things are important because they leave lasting impressions upon people's hearts, upon people's spirits. And good or bad, those are things that people will walk away with, that people will carry throughout their lives. And so I encourage you to take evaluation of yourself as to how you are leaving the people in your life. How are you leaving your spouse in times of disagreement? How are you leaving your friends? How are you leaving your coworkers? How are you leaving your church members, your church brothers and sisters? How are you leaving the people at your job? How are you leaving the people that you manage? Are people encouraged by you? Are people uplifted by you? Do people know that even in times of disagreement or in times of mistakes, that there's still grace, there's still elements of care? Or do people feel broken down? Are you gaslighting people? Are you putting people in place to do your dirty work for you? Are you putting people in place to do things that will hurt people and not doing it yourselves? You assign people to hurt other people. What are you doing to uplift people, or what are you doing to break down people? We should never, and how dare we, treat people less than what God would treat them. At no time did God leave people hurt. At no time did Jesus tear people apart. At no time did Jesus leave people bleeding and hurting and discouraged. Jesus always uplifted. Jesus always encouraged. Jesus always left people better than when they first came to him. And we ought to do the same. If we say that we are Christ-like, then we need to behave as Christ would. We need to treat people as Christ would. We need to leave people better than when they came. People need to remember you for your encouraging words. People need to remember you for your wisdom. People need to remember you for your grace and for your encouragement and for showing the love of Christ, even in error, even in mistakes, even in disagreements. You can still love. You can still dispense grace. You can still speak to people with kindness. You can still do everything that you can in order to build them up and not work undercover in order to break them down. Christ never did that, and Christ expects us to behave as he would. Why? Because he is the example. So I encourage you, let's do better to love on people. Let's do better to encourage. Let's do better to leave people in a better place and in a better position than when they came into our presence. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next time on Talks in the Car.